Would you stay silent? Or let revenge speak for you? Welcome to the stories on Shattered Vengeance. Step into a world where love turns dangerous, revenge feels inevitable, and every story drags you deeper into the shadows of desire, betrayal, and the human heart. Let's begin today's story. I sat in the Historical Society's archive room, watching Claire Henderson, their records specialist, pull file after file from the preservation cabinet. My sister Vanessa had listed the Grand Majestic Theater for sale 3 days ago. The theater I'd purchased in 2014 for $340,000. The theater I'd spent 10 years and $1.8 million restoring. The theater the city had given me 3 preservation awards for saving. Your sister claimed family inheritance rights, Claire said, laying out the documents. But these restoration grant applications, every single one has your name, your tax ID, your architect's seal. The scent of old paper and lemon furniture polish filled the room. Through the window, I could see the Grand Majestic's Art Deco marquee, the one I'd had rebuilt to 1927 specifications. Vanessa had told the buyer it was falling apart family property that needed immediate sale. How much earnest money did they put down? Claire asked. $140,000. Non-refundable according to the contract Vanessa signed. Claire's jaw tightened, that little tell when someone's trying not to show anger. She signed as owner? Co-owner. Said our grandmother left it to the family in her will. Your grandmother died in 2008. I know. I bought the theater 6 years later. With my own money. From a commercial real estate liquidation. Claire pulled another folder. I need to make some calls. The ghost ledger. That night I opened my laptop and created a spreadsheet. Title, The Ghost Ledger. Row 1 Opening Night 2019. I'd restored the theater to working condition. Invited the whole family to the grand reopening. Vanessa, nice little project. When are you getting a real job? Cost, pride in achievement never recovered. Row 2, Preservation Award 2020. City gave me the Heritage Conservation Medal. Dad, they give those to anyone. Didn't come to the ceremony. Cost, validation from father permanently withdrawn. Row 3, Every Family Gathering 2014 to 2024. 10 years of When Are You Selling That Money Pit? And Stop Playing Property Manager. And Get Married Instead of Wasting Time on Buildings. Cost, belief that my choices mattered to them fully depleted. Row 4, Sisters Boutique Lease 2021. Vanessa needed retail space. I gave her below market rent in the theater's ground floor. $1,800 instead of $3,200. She complained it was still too expensive, and told everyone I was exploiting family. Cost, $16,800 per year for 3 years, plus dignity never refunded. Row 5, The Dismissals, That Old Building. Your Little Hobby. The Dump You're Fixing. Never the Landmark You Saved, or The Architectural Treasure You Preserved. Cost, recognition of sacrifice balance 0. Total, incalculable. No payment plan available. Account closed. The origin. There was a moment when I understood. Dad's living room 2013. I'd just gotten pre-approved for the theater purchase loan. I was explaining my restoration plans. The original Wurlitzer organ, the hand-painted ceiling murals, the Art Deco light fixtures. Dad set down his beer. Real estate isn't for women like you. You'll be taken advantage of. You don't have the backbone for it. The leather couch felt cold beneath me. Outside I could hear kids playing basketball. Normal life. Normal family encouragement. Not this. I've done the analysis. Analysis. He laughed. Sweetheart, analysis doesn't matter when contractors smell a woman coming. They'll rob you blind. That was the moment. Not anger. Clarity. I would rely on no one. I would prove nothing to them. I would simply build something so undeniable that their narrative would shatter against it. I bought the theater 3 weeks later. Though. Claire phoned on day 4. The buyer's title company requested our historical records. Standard procedure for landmark sales. I sent them everything. And your decade of ownership. Your grant applications. Your restoration permits. All 247 of them. The buyer's attorney called me an hour ago. They're threatening to sue your sister for fraud. I sat at my desk in the theater's office. The original 1927 chandelier hung above me, each crystal I'd personally cleaned and rehung. What did you tell them? That the Historical Society's records are public and accurate. That you're the sole owner. That every cent of restoration funding was traced to your accounts. That your sister's family inheritance claim has zero documentation. Through the phone I heard papers shuffling. There's more. The buyer's attorney requested a meeting with the preservation board. They want to know if there are other irregularities. Irregularities. If your sister's made other claims. Other promises about the property. My stomach tightened. What kind of promises? She apparently told them the building comes with $200,000 in historical tax credits that transfer to the new owner. I closed my eyes. Those credits were specific to my restoration work. They're non-transferable. They're already claimed. They're gone. The buyer's attorney knows that now. The unraveling. The preservation board called an emergency meeting. I sat in the same conference room where they'd given me awards. Now they were documenting fraud. Board President Marcus Webb reviewed the timeline. Your sister listed the property on March 15th. Accepted an offer on March 18th. Signed a purchase agreement representing herself as co-owner with authority to sell. She has no authority, I said. We know. But she claimed historical tax credits, promised landmark grants, and represented that the city's preservation easement could be lifted. The easement is permanent. That was the condition of the Heritage Fund grant. Marcus nodded. The buyer's attorney is aware of that now. They've filed a fraud complaint with the State Real Estate Commission. Claire Henderson pulled up a document on the projector. This is the listing your sister's agent created. Read the description. I read. Historic Grand Majestic Theater, family-owned since 1927, comes with transferable restoration grants, tax credits and flexible landmark status. Perfect for conversion to luxury condos or modern venue. I never authorized this, I said. The agent claims your sister provided documentation of family ownership. What documentation? A forged deed. A fabricated will. And a letter supposedly from you authorizing the sale. The room went silent. The soft hum of the projector. The distant sound of traffic outside. Marcus cleared his throat. The board is referring this to the district attorney. Landmark fraud is a felony. Forging preservation documents is a federal offense if grant money is involved. How much grant money? $340,000 from the National Historic Preservation Fund. $180,000 from the State Heritage Trust. If your sister fraudulently represented these as transferable, that's wire fraud. Cascade. Within 2 weeks. Criminal. District attorney filed charges. Sister arrested. Brother-in-law charged as co-conspirator for signing listing documents. Bail set at $50,000 each. Both released but passports surrendered. Civil. Buyer filed $280,000 lawsuit for fraud, earnest money return, inspection costs and attorney fees. Their title company filed separate action for negligence against sister's real estate agent. Professional. Real estate agent's license suspended pending investigation. Her brokerage fired her. She faced $500,000 liability from title company. Her professional errors and omissions insurance denied coverage for willful fraud. Real Estate Commission. Opened formal investigation into forged documents, fraudulent listing and unlicensed practice. Sister had signed documents as co-owner and collected fees. Federal. National Park Service, which administered preservation grants, referred case to FBI for investigation of grant fraud and false statements. Financial. Sister's boutique lease terminated for cause. She owed $14,400 in remaining rent plus $8,000 security deposit forfeiture for material misrepresentation of relationship with landlord. I discovered she'd been subletting the space for $4,200 monthly and pocketing the difference. Parents mortgaged their house to pay lawyers. Cost. $85,000 in legal fees in first month alone. Their retirement account. Depleted. The reckoning. I met with the buyer's attorney in my office. The theater stage lights glowed softly beyond the windows. I'd restored those fixtures myself, each one weighing 60 pounds, each one hoisted by hand. My clients want to proceed with the purchase, the attorney said. At a significant discount, given the complications. The theater's not for sale. Mrs. Anderson. Ms. Anderson. And it's not for sale at any price. She set down her pen. You could make $2.8 million. I could. But then what? Buy another building and spend another decade restoring it while my family tries to steal it again? No thank you. Your sister's facing 5 to 7 years. I know. That doesn't bother you? Thought about the ghost ledger. The decade of dismissals. The $50,400 in rent I'd subsidized while she insulted me. The preservation awards my family didn't attend. The opening night they called cute. She tried to steal 10 years of my life, I said. She tried to erase every hour I spent on scaffolding cleaning murals. Every weekend rewiring electrical systems. Every dollar of a $1.8 million restoration. She tried to sell my decade to strangers for her commission. The attorney nodded slowly. She asked if you'd write a letter to the judge. Character reference. No. She's your sister. She was my sister. Now she's someone who committed felony fraud. The relationship ended when she forged my signature. 6 months later. Sister pleaded guilty to 2 felonies, fraud and forgery. Sentence. 4 years suspended to 18 months after restitution. Restitution. $340,000 to preservation grants, $140,000 to buyer, $85,000 to parents for legal fees they paid on her behalf. Payment plan. $565,000 total at $2,100 monthly for 22 years. Brother-in-law. Guilty conspiracy. Probation, fine, permanent fraud conviction on record. His commercial lending career. Destroyed. Real estate agent. License revoked. Civil judgment. $280,000. Bankruptcy filed. Career. Over. Parents. Relationship severed. They testified at sister's hearing that I was vindictive and could have handled this privately. I sent one email. You raised someone who committed felonies and blamed the victim. We're done. The theater thrived. I added 2 screening rooms and a restaurant. Monthly revenue, $47,000. The city designated it a National Historic Landmark. I received a personal letter from the National Trust for Historic Preservation. At the landmark ceremony, I stood on stage under the chandelier. 200 people filled the restored seats. None of them were family. The mayor handed me the plaque. You didn't just save a building. You saved our history. I looked at the Art Deco murals, the original Wurlitzer, the hand-carved balustrades. Every piece I'd fought for. Every detail they'd dismissed. I built something, I said, that can't be stolen, sold, or diminished by people who never valued it. There is no place for them in my world anymore. From the fortress I spent 10 years building, my future begins now. The account is closed. The balance is 0. And I am finally free.